Hello, good evening or good morning, everybody. It's Corey here, and we're going to be going over ULTY. Just a reminder, I am not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice, and this is for entertainment purposes only. All right, so I had thought about trying to do a daily video, a daily roundup video today, with the data that I had just started, and then y'all could just let me know if y'all wanted something else. But yeah, this was what I was going to do. Of course, the other direction. Of course, no trades happened today. So then in the end, I was like, do I need to do a video? And at the time, though, we've been having a lot of issues with the ULTY trades being uploaded to the website. I truly didn't know if there were trades or not, and I can't check that until later in the night. So I really hated to put out that there were no trades if there were trades, and I just couldn't tell till I got the holdings, which was in maybe the last 30 minutes. And then even if there were no trades, I don't even know if y'all cared to just look at the current prices and where the IV was and stuff. I don't know. And then I'm not even sure if I should put anything else on here. I try to make it somewhat similar to how the Yieldmax single stock one is, just because I try to keep both workbooks very similar. So if you're watching either one, you should be able to, pretty much understand it. Of course, the holdings is totally different because it's one account versus lots of accounts, and the holdings are different. So, but anyway, y'all can give me some feedback on what you think on the what I've done here with the daily, and as far as if you would have wanted me just to go ahead and done a video earlier today and showed this information, without, even though there would have been, no trades, would you even have cared just to see this? Or is there something else that I should add to this? Just remember, though, that several things that I have and the information I get come off of the holdings and not just the trades, and I don't get the holdings until late at night. That's why this is sort of bare minimum, right? So if we were looking over here at the summary, we get the market value and the weightings. Well, we don't, that comes from the I can't even talk now, the holdings, right? And then, yeah, the sector, which is the same thing. So there it comes from the holdings, the outstanding shares and net assets. They all come from the holdings. So like I couldn't just use what I already had here for a daily roundup. But anyway, okay, we're gonna get into this, or so we can get moving on this. So there were no trades for us to go over. As far as I forget to go over this part of it, but as far as ULTY itself, it ended up closing today at $17.94. And then on the roundup video for the Yieldmax roll up, I do at least somebody had asked, so I put ULTY down on the bottom, but all it tells, is what the price change was between yesterday and today, and I think it did go up maybe a few cents. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, let's just get started. I was trying to think if there was something else here. But ARM short call expires tomorrow with a strike price of 137. We are currently 2% under the strike price, with a stock price of 133.60. We have 126 contracts, and as you can see, we closed up 2% today. ATXS, a therapeutics company, short call expires next month. Strike price is $17.50, and we are currently under the strike price by 9%. We have 961 contracts, and the stock was up 2% today. Chewy short call expires tomorrow, has a strike price of 19, and it is 16%. The stock is 16% below the strike price at $15.92. We have 1,038 contracts. well, I should say that's weird. They didn't close that out today because it shows over here it would only cost 1 cent. But then I remembered I'm in ULTY. I'm not in the single stock ones. So in this one, they can let them expire. And we're so far away from that price, it's going to expire. So by letting it expire, they save the $519 along with the fees and everything that go along with that. So yeah, so sorry, that was something I was thinking in my head. And then of course you see the synthetic is negative 9%. Of course it doesn't expire until next month should they decide to hold on to it that long. If not, it would cost them $150,000 to close that out, at least as of today. But you can see that they were down 10% today. 10%. So they were right above that strike, the synthetic strike price, before it dropped 10%. All right, so we move on to Clean Spark. So Clean Spark short call expires tomorrow with a strike price of $18.50. We are over that strike price by 12%. It only went up 3% today, but we're over it by 12. So to close those out, or to pay or whatever, $224,000. And then if we move on to Coin, so Coin, we actually, Coinbase, we actually hold that stock. And I guess I may not be zoomed in enough. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. We hold that one. We have our short call. It's weird. I zoom in and I feel like I need to push the iPad away from me. But the short call expires tomorrow with a strike price of $257.50. And we are above that strike price by 2%. So what is that? 250, 450. And because we're above it, 450, well, we only have 61 contracts, so it ends up only being 43,000 if we had to close that out today. And then we actually closed up 2%. So we were right under the strike price. If we move on to Carvana, short call expires tomorrow, strike price at 85. We are currently over that strike price by 3%. 189 shares. It would have cost us $74,000 to close that out today if we had to, and the stock is up 1%. D Local. Short call doesn't expire till next month. Strike price $19, and we are 18% below that on the short call, but 13% below it on the synthetic. So we still got a month for that. And the stock was down at 9 cents today. GigaCloud, short call. These expire next month also. The short call strike price is $40, so we're currently 24% below that with 344 contracts. And the stock went up 6% today. Okay, GME short call expires tomorrow. Strike price is $15, and we are 9% below that. Let's see. Okay, so we have 1,043 contracts, and it was up 1% today. Then we have Hood, where they actually own the stock, and then they have a short call that expires tomorrow with a strike price of $19. We went over that by 9 cents today. So it cost us $25,000 if we had to close that out today. And we were, sorry, I lost what line I was on. We were actually up 3% today, or 53. Oh, so that's what I get for saying. 53 cents. Mind Medicine short call doesn't expire till next month. Strike price of $11. We're 11% below that, but 8% above on our synthetic, so both of those look good. 1,619 contracts, and it went down 1% today. We have the cannabis stock, or cannabis ETF, MSOS. Short call expires tomorrow. Strike price of $10. We are currently 3% below that strike price. 1,674 contracts, and it was up 8% today. Then we have MicroStrategy, where we actually own the underlying. And the short call that expires tomorrow, that strike price is 1,635. So let's hope we can stay below that strike price. But right now we're below 2%. We have 8 contracts and 800 shares. It would have cost us $2,700 if we had to close that out today, and MicroStrategy was up 3%. NanoX Imaging, which, let me just open this up because I was reading an article today. Well, it still does say it's healthcare. But I was reading something about, it was under some top 5 AI stocks or whatever. And I was surprised because, of course, there's NVIDIA, and then there was NanoX Imaging, and then SoundHound was on it. Which, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it when we get there. But anyway, sorry about that. I was trying to say, I thought it was healthcare. But we have our short call, but it is expired till next month. Strike price is $12.50. We are underneath it by 18%. And it is down 7% today. Interesting. NVIDIA, we own the stock there. So we have a short call that expires tomorrow with a strike price of $955. A total of 17 shares, and we're currently 4% below the strike price. And NVIDIA went up 1% today. If we go to PDD, it just keeps going back down to where it was before earnings. The short call expires tomorrow with a strike price of $142, and the stock is currently at $122.30. Sorry, so we're underneath that strike price by 14% with 120 contracts, and we dropped 7% today, $10-ish. Root short call expires next month. Strike price is $70, and we are 26% below that with 281 contracts, and it was down 1% today. SMCI short call expires tomorrow. The strike price there is $1,060. Current price is $971, so we are below that by 8%. Only have 14 contracts, and this stock went up 8% today. Then if we go to SoundHound, I knew it's one of those again. I just should have. I tell you, it goes up. If I sell it, it'll keep going up. If I don't sell it, it goes right back down. I just feel like I have dumb luck. But SoundHound, yeah, expires tomorrow. Strike price is $8.50. I believe it got up to $10 at one point the past week or so. Maybe it was a different one. I know it got up to at least 9 something. But as of today, we are at $6.68 at close. We're 21% below it for our short call. And it was down 16% today, so $1.25-ish. And then we have Symbotic. Short call expires tomorrow with a strike price of $47. And we're currently 3% over that strike price. So it would cost us $44,000 if we had to close that out today. And the stock went up 3%. So we're going to go over to our summary tab and try not to spend too much more time on this video because I know y'all want these short. But we have our tickers and our sectors, the market value based on the holdings, and we have the weightings, which comes off the holdings. And so I will say So I know I was requested to change the weightings, but I spent like an hour or so this evening going and researching the weightings and the Act of 1940 and the 25%, and if we're talking sector, industry, and blah, 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 blah. And in the end, unless somebody can point me into a different direction, I'm going to leave the weightings the way they are, because what I read was it was based on the net assets. So the cash and the money market is included in the net assets. So then that tells me that means the weightings that should be included in the weightings. So another thing is, in case any of y'all are wondering, I have sector on here. Of course, I have it on my sheet all the way down to the industry and what it states out there. And I wish I had it up in front of me. I don't know what all I have on my tabs on my thing, but it was 25% like overall, because of what they state in their prospectus that, they won't do more than 25% in any industry. If they could do it, they just had to state that up front, right? But they stated that they wouldn't. So, but when you read it out there, it says industry or similar industries. Similar is not the word it used. But anyway, then I read a few different cases that talked about that basically got thrown out because it's not truly defined. There's like, all these loopholes of things. Of course, now they have industries out there, but then again, it also talks about similar stuff. But then it was talking about, well, if your holdings, the stocks go up that day and you go above 25%, well, people weren't dinged for that, and they weren't held liable for that or whatever. But anyway, I know that's a lot of stuff and a lot of people probably don't care and whatever, but we're just looking at, if you look over here on the right or in the center of the screen now, if we were just looking at sector, you can see that we barely have a weighting in any sector, more or less in any industry. If we start looking, going down to industry, I can't edit pivot tables on here, but I can do it on my computer. Give me just a second because now I'm messing up everything. So I have a number, and then we have our weightings. There we go. So we should be able to see that good here now. But yeah, so even if you go down and if, say, we use the industry that's out there like this, you're, just like the other, you're not really getting close. I guess if one, within a sector and you had one of these in here, if it was extreme one way to another, like here, I guess if this was really high. I mean, so if you want, in fact, I could leave this like this if you wanted. So you can see the weightings by sector and industry, or I could just do industry, or I could just do sector. I don't really care. I'm just trying to figure out, how y'all want to look at this, or even if you want to look at it. I just added it, as as requested. But as far as changing the way the weightings are calculated on the holdings, I, from what I have read today, it seems that that's the way it should be done, which would make sense, right? Because they're doing the holdings, so it makes sense to be the right way. So I don't. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going to have any issues with any of that. Now, maybe once it gets bigger and whatever, maybe, but we will see. So anyway, I did want to go over that. And since I'm over here, we'll just look real quick. We can see the outstanding shares have stayed the same. The net assets have gone down just a little bit there. But So if we go back over here, this I didn't get around to and actually had forgotten about it. So recall these first four we actually own the stock in, which is why it looks like they're doing better than the rest. It's just because of the way we're holding it. And I forgot about trying to look at that today because I spent a lot of time researching the whole 25% industry thing. But yes, I need to figure out what to do as far as here is. But I know the goal when I talked to Jay was for these to all go to holding the stocks versus doing them synthetically. Of course, they can do it either way, so they could change their mind tomorrow. Was just part of a conversation that we had had. So anyway, if we go down to here, we have here. I guess I'll scroll. Symbiotic, and then Symbiotic with 204,000, SMCI with 198,000, Carvana with 170,000. So it's sort of like our top three there, taking out the ones with cash just because we can't compare them with, not cash, but actually holding the stock, because it's hard to compare. And then let's see, our worst market values. Apparently, I need to drag some. Yeah, these formulas are, something's wrong here. Well, first, I guess let me copy. Okay, I'll look to see what I got going on here. Okay, but our rankings, so the bottom three is D-Lo at 200,000, Soundhound with 233,000, and Root with 219,000 negatives. I'm sorry, I should have said negatives for all of those. If we're looking at our highest IV, that's going to be here with ATXS, the therapeutics company, 189%. Number 3 was Soundhound, 144. Number 2 was Clean Spark. So then if we go to the bottom, let's see, we have like, what, 20? Oops. Okay, we have 20. So the lowest, this says D local, is 39%. Surely to goodness, that isn't right. B2030, that's right. Or at least based on the website. I keep clicking in it like it's not gonna bring up the formula bar, be all up in the way. But interesting. All right, let's say 19 PDD, 45%. So we can see this number is pulling over. It was 74, and now we're down 45. And then 18. 18 is NVIDIA with 47%. All right, I'm going to end the video there. Let me know what y'all think as far as this goes, and then what I talked about at the beginning as far as the trying to get out an earlier video in the day as far as a little summary, similar to what I was showing on the tab earlier. But I will let y'all go and talk to y'all later. Bye.